Okay, Ms. Losey, I think you're next. We have a number of questions about relating to Lunada Bay and Malaga Cove. I think it.
I'm sorry, I thought you'd missed her that time. Sorry.
No, I should have gone straight across. It would have been easier. But anyway, the question asks, what is your position on the Beautify Lunada Bay project?
Well, my position is that we need to have resident input and a wide array of resident input, not maybe just a few people that live around. A lot of people want it, a lot of people don't. So that to me is an example where we've got to have the input, and we have to create a forum for people to, to come together and decide what's optimal. Some people, there's obviously different definitions for people on what natural state means and natural plantings, and so something that causes such a high profile in the community, I just think it's critical that we get a very wide base of resident input, not just people who live in that area of Lunada Bay, but the whole city, because people from all over the city come down to those bluffs to enjoy.
Mr. Kemps.
I think when this was first looked at, I think the decisions were made too quickly. And I myself am sort of a naturalist, and I'd prefer to keep the cliffs and leave things alone. But it's not up to me. It's up to our residents. And so my preference would be to pull everyone together and to understand what they wanted. My concern is that if we do things like change paths, then maybe there's requirements for irrigation that could destroy cliffs. Maybe there's requirements for fencing that come upon us. So I really like the natural state of where we are, and that's part of the reason I live here. So my preference is not to make those changes.
Ms. King.
There were a couple of phases to the Beautify Lunada Bay project, and this is a project that's sponsored by residents. It was over a period of years, and they came for hearings in front of the Parklands Committee and in front of the City Council. I did support the first phase around Paseo Lunado. I did think that that was an improvement, and I do think that there was a lot of public involvement in that project. There was likewise a lot of public involvement in the second phase, which proposed that the plantings extend along the bluffs. I personally had a little bit of a different opinion on that. I think there was a different balance when you start landscaping the bluffs, and I wasn't all that supportive of the project. But it did come to the Parklands Committee, and that's as it should have been, so that there could be a public hearing. And the Parklands Committee heard our residents, as they should. Democracy worked. The Beautify Lunada Bay group has gone back to the drawing board, and I think they're going to have a much more modest project, if a project at all. So I think the process worked.
Okay, Mr. McGowan.
Well, I first of all would like to applaud the Lunada Bay Association for, I think what they've done up there has been phenomenal improvement to the area. Now, as far as the extension of the project, I know that there's pros and cons in the neighborhood. I happen to believe that if you look at just extending that existing plantings down along Paseo del Mar and not Paseo, but Paseo Lunado, and not onto the cliffs. That's my understanding as far as they want to take it. I think trying to extend it onto the cliffs is a whole different issue, and I think it cannot be used as a cookie cutter that could be applied to other areas of the city. I think each area needs to be looked at individually, and with the residents and with the irrigation issues or safety issues or any other concerns that the residents have.
Mr. McCarthy.
So during my meet and greets, I probably had about a half a dozen people come up to me and talk about specifically that, want to know what my position was. And I really didn't know a lot about it, but the citizens' concerns were twofold. One was the cost. It's citizen funded initially, but eventually the city was going to take that on. And with the problems fiscally, they were concerned about, okay, is that going to fall back on us? And the second thing was the shrubbery, and was it going to be trimmed, and views. So the people that live down there have views right now. They don't want to lose their views. And I agree with Jennifer. The process, it went back to the Parklands Committee, and it appears the process is working.
Okay, Ms. Peterson.
So with our city facing financial limitations, I always will encourage public and private partnership. I think this is one of the cases where our community got together and figured that they wanted to improve their landscaping along the bluffs. So the community engagement part is very, very crucial. And as it has gone through the proper process, going through Parklands, coming up to the City Council, being approved for phase one, the second phase didn't pan out so well. But with that, I'm okay with going back to the Lunada Bay Homes Association, going back to the Beautify Lunada Bay Project Committee to improve on their project and to plan out something that the community can really support behind. So wait and see. I'm excited to see what phase 2, the new and improved phase 2 might be.
Okay, thank you.